Speed is simply distance covered by a body per unit time, students. Okay, and the unit will be meter per second, students. If somebody asks you velocity, students, velocity we simply consider is the rate at which displacement takes place, we consider. So I can put forward in terms of ds by dt. Students, do keep this in mind. Now, ye ध्यान में रखना, students. When do I consider over here? I can put forward in this manner. I can go for instantaneous velocity, instantaneous.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and velocity average. Okay, so velocity at a certain instant of time and velocity average, students. मुझे बताओ students, instantaneous velocity कभी consider करोगे और average velocity कभी का? Anybody can tell me that?
The velocity at any instant is called instantaneous velocity, while velocity average is the total velocity, the average, like in the whole trip.
That is from average. That is from initial time to final time.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you put forward this with respect to a clear way of understanding with respect to graphical way of representing it?
We can say.
Repeat the question, please.
I want to know about velocity instant and velocity average.
Yeah, so we can take S2 minus S1 upon T2 minus T1
what
as
is that?
average.
Absolutely
that
correct.
Is
and for instantaneous, what exactly will consider?
ds about dt.
Okay, but what kind of graphs will be associated? What kind of graphs will be considered? Should the graphs for both should be uniform or it should be non-uniform graphs? Or it can be uniform or non-uniform?
It can be uniform and non-uniform.
Okay, for instantaneous, what should I go for? For instantaneous, what it should go for?
Meaning like what type of graph?
Suppose if I give you two kind of graphs, please everybody listen carefully. Okay, if I give you a graph of, see, I need to go for velocity. Velocity hai kya, students? Velocity simply we consider as the slope of displacement and time. Everybody knows this and everybody has learned it in class 9, students. Students, velocity is the rate at which displacement takes place, and that is the slope of the graph. Suppose अगर मैंने तुम्हें displacement, students, अगर मैंने displacement time graph दिया, agreed? This is another displacement time graph. And if I give you a graph to be a curve or a graph to be a straight line, what kind of graph is this? I'll consider. Then your answer will be this will be non-uniform graph. क्या ये clear हुआ सबको? हाँ students, ये non-uniform है कि नहीं है? Agreed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. ये क्या हुआ? ये क्या हुआ? ये हुआ uniform graph. Agreed?
Yes, sir.
Smith, can you tell me how can you say it's non-uniform? Smith, how can you say that this graph is non-uniform? What you'll say about this?
Sir, it is constantly changing with the time.
Absolutely correct. यानी देखो तुम अगर time को constant रखोगे ना students, see, और ये सब students, what is this already of learned in class 9? 9th में तुम पढ़ चुके हो students, उसी को मैंने वहां से लिया. I'm just trying to pick up from there only. Suppose अगर तुम time को constant रखोगे ना students, look over here, I'm keeping time constant. Okay, I'm keeping time constant. If I keep time constant, students, what exactly? See the displacement. The displacement is happening what? Look over here. The displacement is initially less. As time increases, look at the displacement. Okay, as time further increases, see the displacement. The displacement is increasing further. That means the time is constant, students. Time is constant, but see the displacement. Do we have equal displacement? No, it's unequal displacement in equal time. So what is that? Non-uniform. ये क्या है? Equal displacement. So it's equal time, equal displacement. Look over here. Look over here. These all sides are congruent. These all sides are congruent. A body covers equal displacement and equal. What kind of graph is this we call? Uniform. ये क्या है? Non-uniform.
Non-uniform.
Now my question to y'all once again, students, अगर मुझे इंस्टैन्टेनियस वेलोसिटी समझना है तो कौन सा ग्राफ में प्रिफर करूंगा? क्या दोनों ग्राफ प्रिफर
Non-uniform.
Yes. क्या ये क्लियर हुआ स्टूडेंट्स? एंड वेयर एग्जैक्टली आई हैव कम अक्रॉस दिस स्टूडेंट्स? आई हैव टोल्ड यू दिस while working out with differentiation. Students, y is a function of x. Y depends on x. Any change in the value will certainly be considered depends on the change in the value of x. X being a variable. X being a variable. Now suppose अगर suppose ध्यान से सुनना स्टूडेंट्स, यही ग्राफ के अंदर अगर तुम कर्व को देखोगे तो कर्व के अंदर सपोज अगर मैंने एक सीकेंट ड्रॉ किया, लिसन केयरफुली स्टूडेंट्स, आई एम ड्राइंग अ सीकेंट. That means this secant is cutting the graph and it's cutting the
Yes,
graph
sir.
at two different positions. So can I say this becomes S2 for corresponding position T2?
Yes, sir.
This we consider will be S1
S1 for T1.
for corresponding position will be T1 in that case.
Yes, sir.
Now in this case, what exactly S2 minus S1 and T2 minus T1 will give me?
So it will give you your average speed.
Average speed or average velocity?
Sorry,
If I
average
put-
velocity. Speed गलती से बोला. Sorry, sir.
Okay.
Slip of tongue. Sorry.
Smith, is he right, Smith? Is he correct?
Yes, sir.
What about Nishant? Is he correct?
Yes, sir.
But if I happen to go for tangent to this, ध्यान से सुनो, अगर इसी secant को मैं tangent draw करता हूं, यानी if my T1 is tending to reach towards T2 such that the time interval is almost tending to 0, तो ये क्या बन गया सर? ये ग्राफ का tangent बन गया स्टूडेंट्स. यही जो मेरा ग्राफ था स्टूडेंट्स, look at my graph is a curve. My graph was a curve, but now my graph is actually, this bluing is a tangent. What exactly this tangent? The tangent at a particular instant of time gives you. This
Velocity
gives
of instantaneous.
yes, velocity instantaneous. Instantaneous velocity के लिए तुम क्या करोगे? Limiting ratio. ध्यान से सुनना. Limiting ratio of infinitesimal change in displacement with respect to time. This is called as infinitesimal, small change. Small change को delta में लिख सकते हो with respect to time. However, the time is very small, students. What exactly this is going to give me? This is going to give me V instantaneous. And this V instantaneous can be simply considered in terms of differentiating displacement with respect to time. यानी यहाँ पे तुम्हें differentiation use करना पड़ेगा. Average के लिए क्या होगा? Simply slope. Slope of the graph. Slope of the graph का मतलब क्या है? Students, everybody has learned it in class 9. What exactly slope का मतलब क्या है? So slope का मतलब it's ratio of y by x. Y
Yeah,
क्या
sir.
है?
Y2 minus Y1 upon X2 minus X1.
Yes, y is meter and x we consider is what? Second. Meter per second, that we consider velocity. And ये क्या होगा तुम्हारा? Slope क्या होगा? Students, slope will be in terms of what exactly consider? Will be what? It's y2 minus y1.
Y1. X2 minus X2.
And that's the slope of the graph. And this gives you your average velocity numbers.
Yes, sir.
Is this clear to the rest of the students, please?
Sir, a question, sir. Sir, if slope can help us find the average velocity of the graph, another formula for slope is also tan theta in the graph.
That
So
is
can you say that tan
intelligent,
theta?
very intelligent. That is
So can you
gradient.
say that tan theta is equal to the average velocity of a graph? Can we say that?
बात है, very good, very good. You are such an intelligent boy. Absolutely correct. See, the entire class was missing you. Yes, Alisha, is it clear? Alisha, Ashmita,
Yes, sir.
Ashmita, what about you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay,
Clear.
fine. Jason, what about you? Parth,
Yes, sir.
okay, fine. Parth, what about you? Purvi, Prajwal, Pratham,
Yes, sir.
okay. Riya, what about you, Riya? Priyag,
Yes, sir, I got it.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Swapnil, what about you, Swapnil?
Yes, sir, clear.
Okay, fine. Okay, अभी देखो तुम सेकंड ग्राफ देखो कर स्टूडेंट्स लुक एट द सेकंड पार्ट ऑफ द ग्राफ. सो सेकंड पार्ट ऑफ द ग्राफ इज यूनिफॉर्म. तो यहाँ पे यूनिफॉर्म तो बहुत इजी हो जाएगा. सर ये मेरा y2 होगा, ये मेरा y1 होगा, इसका करस्पॉन्डिंग वैल्यू इज t2, इसका करस्पॉन्डिंग वैल्यू इज t1. सो व्हाट एग्जैक्टली कंसीडर इज y2 minus y, यानी s2 minus s1 upon t2 minus t1. What exactly that is going to give me? Average velocity.
Yes, sir.
Is that clear?
Yes.
So students, average velocity can also be considered in terms of total displacement upon total time also, or we can simply consider for the graphical part of it, we consider as a slope of the graph we consider. Okay, so this part is already students will have done it in class 9. I'm just picking up for this part to understand how exactly numericals will be put forward across.
Just one question, sir.
अरे क्या बात? हाँ बोलो.
Sir, how do you find tan theta in the non-uniform graph?
Which one?
Where do you find angle theta in the non-uniform graph over here?
Tangentially नहीं होगा. It will be for this part of it. You can't get it for tangent.
Okay.
You can get it for secant, not for tangent.
So we'll find the second, like regular graph.
Tangent will be always instantaneous. See the word instantaneous. Hello. The word instantaneous means instant. उस time पे तू तेरे घर से निकला. Hello. तू तेरे घर से निकला IITian हब के लिए. Okay. 9 बजे घर से निकला IITian हब के लिए. तो 9:18 पे कहाँ पे था? फिर 9:23 पे कहाँ पे था? तो 9.23 और 9.18 वो जो डिफरेंस है दैट इज टाइम इंटरवल. तो दैट विल गिव यू एवरेज. लेकिन अगर किसी ने पूछा कि at 9 hours and 15 minutes where exactly you were at that instant, तो वो उस टाइम पे है. तो वहां पे तुम्हें ग्रेडियंट नहीं मिलेगा. वहां पे tangent होता है स्टूडेंट.
Okay, sir. Understood.
And tangent is defined as a line touching the arc, or a circle at one and only one point. तो तुम्हें एक टाइम t मिलेगा, नॉट डेल्टा t मिलेगा. यहाँ पे सिर्फ t मिलेगा, नॉट t डेल्टा t.
Okay.
Can I erase this, students? Is this clear?
Yes, sir. It's clear.
Students, can I erase it?
Just 1 minute, sir. I'm just waiting.
Okay, students. So please pay attention, students. When they ask you for speed, velocity, and acceleration. Speed is simply to use the variable v. This is v with the var. This is acceleration. This I'll consider will be a scalar quantity. This will be a vector quantity. This is also a vector quantity. Speed is defined as a distance covered by a body per unit time. Velocity is defined as a displacement covered by a body per unit time. Acceleration is simply considered as change in velocity. That's why we say it's change in displacement with respect to change in time, students. This is also change in velocity with respect to change in time we consider. This we consider simply in terms of your acceleration is equal to what? V minus U upon V. So what exactly over here U stands for? Your U stands for initial velocity. Do keep this in mind. What exactly V stands for? Final velocity. And T is the time instant we consider, students. When I speak about the unit, it's meter per second. Meter per second. This will be meter per second square, students. Now, when I speak about the concept of uniform, ध्यान से सुनना students, uniform. यूनिफॉर्म स्पीड का मतलब क्या? तो तुरंत तुम्हें अगर ग्राफिकल वे के हिसाब से अगर मैं बताऊं, ध्यान से सुनना स्टूडेंट्स, x and y, it will be to get uniform speed, students, what kind of graph I should go for? Can you define what you should take on y-axis and what you should take on x-axis to understand uniform speed?
So S on Y and T on X.
Very good. Distance on y and time on x-axis. Students, this is what you are, and this is all you have learned it in class 9. That's why I'm putting it so fast. Distance time graph hoga, students, and the graph will be a straight line graph passing through origin. Yani when a body covers equal distance, students, in an equal interval of time, then the body is said to go with uniform speed. वही अगर मैंने uniform velocity, right now I told you about uniform velocity, x and y, students, displacement upon time, what exactly I consider will be when the body covers equal displacement in an equal interval of time, what exactly the body is going to move with? Uniform speed, uniform velocity. यानी यहाँ पे अगर तुम slope find out करोगे ना students, slope, तो वो होगा uniform speed. यहाँ पे जब भी तुम slope find out करोगे students, यहाँ पे जब भी तुम slope find out करोगे तो वो क्या हो जाएगा? वो होगा uniform velocity. Now can anybody tell me, if I want to get the answer for uniform acceleration, students, what should be y-axis defined and x-axis defined as? I want for uniform acceleration, students.
Y-axis equals to velocity and x-axis for time.
Very good. See, students, he's so fast. मैं तो so fast in answering it. क्योंकि मुझे acceleration चाहिए, students. अब भी मैंने बताया, slope का मतलब क्या? Ratio of y to x, है ना? तो यहाँ पे क्या होना चाहिए सर? यहाँ पे velocity होना चाहिए. यहाँ पे क्या होना चाहिए? Time होना चाहिए. वापस बोल रहा हूँ students. Slope का मतलब क्या? Slope का मतलब inclined plane. Students, slope का मतलब inclined plane. या तो चढ़ान, students, या तो चढ़ान या तो ढलान. Either incline or decline. अगर सपोज मैं ग्राफ ऐसा देता हूं तो ये स्लोप है. ऑफ कोर्स अगर मैंने ग्राफ ऐसा दिया तो ये स्लोप है. फर्क क्या है? ये पॉजिटिव स्लोप है, ये ग्रोइंग स्लोप है, ये डिक्लाइनिंग स्लोप है. लेकिन अगर मेरा ग्राफ पैरेलल गया तो क्या क्या कैन आई फाइंड आउट द स्लोप ऑफ दिस? कैन आई फाइंड आउट द स्लोप ऑफ दिस?
Zero.
जीरो. क्यों? बिकॉज y2 minus y1 is 0. स्टूडेंट्स ये देखो ना, मेरा वैल्यू ऑफ y2 भी वही है. See, this is for t1. Agreed? Sorry, this is x1. Value is y1. For x2, still the value is y2 only. So what is y2 minus y1? 0. Slope is 0. यानी स्टूडेंट्स कभी भी अगर कोई भी ग्राफ पैरेलल होगा टू टाइम एक्सिस, स्टूडेंट्स, slope is not existing over here. ये slope है ही नहीं, सामने दिखाई दे रहे हैं. So slope का मतलब आपने बता दिया चढ़ान या ढलान. यहाँ पे ना ही हम ऊपर की तरफ जा रहे हैं ना ही नीचे की तरफ जा रहे हैं. We are going horizontal. तो horizontal के अंदर what exactly? Slope will be 0. Now when you speak about it, slope is what? It's a ratio of y by x. Y क्या है? Velocity. Velocity किस में लिखोगे? मीटर पर सेकेंड. टाइम किस में लिखोगे? सेकेंड. ध्यान से सुनना, यूनिट क्या आया? ओ, मीटर पर सेकेंड स्क्वायर. What is that meter per second square? Which physical quantity is meter per second square? Acceleration. That is why, students, when I asked you all, I want to show about uniform acceleration. I want to show the graphical view of uniform acceleration, student. So I asked you all, y-axis you will define with what term? X-axis you will define with what term? So what exactly Smith said it? He said it's a y-axis पे आपको velocity लेना पड़ेगा, x-axis को time लेना पड़ेगा, because instantly he has thought in that case कि अगर मैं इसका slope लेता हूँ y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1, तो मुझे उसका unit मिलेगा meter per second square, students, and meter per second square is acceleration. So slope over here will be uniform acceleration. What is uniform acceleration? Now, if I happen to go in simple definitions, तो उसका मतलब क्या है? Answer सुनो. A body covering equal change in velocity. See this change? Equal in equal time. In equal time. In equal time. In equal time. See the time? Time is constant. Equal change in velocity in equal time. The body is said to move with uniform acceleration. Is this clear to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Can I erase this, students? Can I erase this?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Since whenever you have non-uniform motion, students, then always you need to go for average. A simple example on the students. ध्यान से सुनना. जब भी non-uniform का मतलब क्या? Unequal distance in equal time or equal distance in unequal time. That is non-uniform. Now, for example, you say, let's suppose you start your journey from point A. Students, you went A to B, okay, 400 kilometers. You took 4 hours. While coming back, you covered the same distance, but you took 6 hours. मुझे बताओ क्या ये यूनिफॉर्म है या नॉन यूनिफॉर्म मोशन है? हाँ स्टूडेंट्स,
Non-uniform.
यानी इज इट इक्वल डिस्टेंस? यस और नो?
Equal distance, but
Yes.
unequal
Be
time.
distance but non-equal time.
हाँ, यानी दैट कैन बी आल्सो सेड नॉन यूनिफॉर्म. स्टूडेंट्स ध्यान से सुनना, एवरीबडी लिसन केयरफुली, ओके? वापस देखो. अगर मैंने ग्राफ कर्व बनाया, ओके, ध्यान से सुनना. One student will try to keep time constant. ध्यान से सुनना, keeping time constant. Now see the distance covered, unequal, है ना? See the distance covered, students, unequal है कि नहीं है? दूसरा students क्या करेगा मालूम है? ध्यान से सुनना. He'll try to go for same distance. I'm using now blue ink. Now see, he's keeping the distance constant, but see the time. Is the time same?
No, sir, it is not.
No. See the time. Time is not. यानी non-uniform का hard and fast rule ये नहीं है that the body should have unequal distance and equal interval of time. It can be equal distance and unequal interval of time. ये देखो, equal distance and unequal of time. तो ये भी क्या है? Non-uniform है. जब भी non-uniform होता है ना students, what exactly have to go for? Have to simply go for average. Now, for example, you went with your dad. You went with your dad in a car, and your dad had covered 400 kilometers in 4 hours while going. Okay, he covered 400 kilometers in 4 hours, and then he came back at home. Okay, 400 kilometers in 6 hours. At that time, now what exactly your mom asked you? Beta, what is the speed with which your dad had driven the vehicle? So what will say? क्या स्पीड से तुम्हारे पापा ने कार चलाई थी? तुम क्या करोगे? क्या तुम यूनिफॉर्म कंडीशन
Distance upon time.
Yes, so that is what we'll go for average speed. So what is average speed? So average speed is a total distance covered upon total time taken. I can consider that. What is the total distance to go? So total distance will be 400 to go, 400 to come back. Time to go is 4 hours. Time to come back is 6 hours. What is the answer? 800 upon 10 means the car was going with 80 kilometers per hour, students. क्या ये clear हुआ, students?
Yes, sir.
Is this clear to all of you all?
Yes, sir.
But now if I ask you what is average velocity, तो तुम क्या बोलोगे? Total displacement upon total time. Students, what is the total displacement? While moving, you move from A to B. Let us assume this going towards positive x-axis. So can I try on this as plus 400? Total displacement plus says that it goes to the right hand side. Then you come back. Coming back is what? Changing the direction.
Minus.
Upon total time is how much? Students, इसका आंसर क्या आएगा बताओ? 0 kilometers.
0.
Means what exactly the average velocity for the complete journey we consider is? It's plus 400 plus into minus 400. My total answer will be 0. Agree, students? So average speed is
Yes,
80, but average velocity will be 0 kilometers per hour. क्या ये clear हुआ students सबको?
हाँ sir.
Okay. The next is now the next if I consider for velocity, students. See now for acceleration is going to change in velocity upon time. Students, let me put forward this part also.
Sir,
Yes, what happened?
if average velocity is 0, then won't acceleration be 0 as well?
Pardon?
If average velocity is 0, then won't acceleration be 0 as well?
Average velocity is 0, so what is the question?
If average velocity is 0, won't average acceleration be 0 as well?
Right, acceleration will be equal to what? Rate of change of velocity in that case. So if my velocity is zero, my acceleration is also zero, but my body is not, we consider at rest. I can consider in that case the body has been brought back to the same place we consider. For the complete journey, I'm taking it. I'm getting it for the complete journey. So my displacement itself is zero. So my velocity is zero. Acceleration has to be zero.
Okay, sir. Okay.
This is always for the complete course of journey we consider.
Okay, understood, sir. Understood. Thank you.
Displacement, students, is what? It's a total length covered from its initial position to final. Initial कहाँ से शुरू किया था? A से. Finally तुम आए कहाँ पे? वापस A पे आए ना? I get it. So जब the total displacement for the course of the journey is equal to zero. What about the velocity at that instant also? Zero. Acceleration is zero. Now, students, keep in mind, acceleration is rate of change of velocity. Students, looking at this formula, students, what happens if your final velocity is greater than initial? Students, what's going to happen? If final velocity is less than initial, what is going to happen? And if the velocity is equal, then what happens? Agar suppose मैंने बोला v is greater than u, v is less than u, and v is equal to u. What do you conclude from these three expressions? Anyone? Acceleration is rate of change of velocity. Its final velocity minus the initial velocity upon time t. What happens if final velocity is greater than initial velocity? What's happening in that case? So don't you say that the body is accelerating? है ना, speed बढ़ती जा रही है. The body's acceleration, यानी जब भी तुम यहाँ पे a की value find out करोगे ना students, my answer for acceleration will be always in positive. This is called as positive acceleration. This is called as positive acceleration, students. Okay. If my final velocity, students, is less than initial velocity, can you tell me what is my acceleration?
Negative acceleration.
Acceleration will be negative.
What is that? What is the other word of negative acceleration is also called as?
Deceleration.
Okay,
Deceleration.
retardation. Are you getting it? That is retardation or deceleration we consider. Okay. Lekin, agar if my final velocity is equal to initial velocity, what is my acceleration?
Uniform.
Zero.
Acceleration is zero. But is the body at rest?
No.
No, the body is going with constant velocity. Yani a body moving with constant velocity, that means the body is going with uniform speed. Students, अगर तुमने तुम्हारी journey को शुरू किया है and constantly throughout your speed of the car remains constant for the first time of 10 seconds, your speed is showing 70 kilometers per hour. Next 10 seconds also 70, next 10 also 70, next 10 also 70, next 10 also 70. Now if somebody asks you at the end of 40 seconds, what exactly the acceleration will be? Zero. Because initial भी 70 था, final भी 70 था. Any acceleration zero हो गया. But was the car at rest? No, the car was going with constant speed. We consider that is called, we consider uniform motion. We consider that is, we consider it's going with uniform speed. V is equal to u, but acceleration is zero. So looking from the formula, students, and taking the condition for v greater than u, v less than u, v equal to u, one can say acceleration can be positive, acceleration can be negative, acceleration can be zero. That means over here, the motion is accelerated, the motion is retarded. Over here, the body is going with uniform speed. Now a question to all of you all. Let's see who answers for this. Students, मुझे एक ऐसे ग्राफ चाहिए, मुझे एक ग्राफ तुम्हें ड्रॉ करना है. I want you to plot a graph right now. The answer is no. I'm not telling you what you should take on y-axis, what you should take on x-axis. That is you have to think onto it. I want you to plot a graph, and the graph should show me acceleration positive, acceleration negative, acceleration zero. Agreed? And give me an example for that. Don't give me an example right now which I give you. A car is initially accelerating, then going with constant. I don't want that example. I want some other example. क्या ये question clear हुआ सबको?
Yes, sir.
Question
Yes,
वापस
sir.
repeat कर रहा हूँ students. Listen carefully. I'm repeating the question once again. I want you to show me graphical representation. Okay, graphical representation that you have to select what you're going to take on x-axis, what you take on y-axis, and this graphical representation I wanted to show it to me where acceleration is positive, acceleration 0, acceleration negative in the same graph. एक ही graph के अंदर मुझे तीनों चाहिए, and followed by a simple example on it.
Done.
Who's this? Who have completed?
Done,
Nishant,
sir.
you. Okay.
Yes,
Who
sir.
else completed?
Shall I see the example? Or
Wait a minute. Nishant, let Smith answer. Ashmita, what about you, Ashmita? Ashmita, question समझ में आया Ashmita? Okay, Smith, come on, answer. Bolo.
Yes, sir. So the graph for the positive acceleration will be straightforward from the origin.
No, but what exactly x-axis and what exactly y-axis will take it as?
Y-axis for
What
will
is
be
it?
velocity v,
Yeah.
and x-axis will be t.
Why? Why you took velocity on y-axis and why you took time on x-axis? Reason kya?
So, but because of meter per second.
Of course, because you need to find out acceleration. Acceleration ke liye what exactly you go for? Will you go for slope? Yes or no?
Yes.
Smith. Yes, and acceleration is what? dv by dt. That means can
Yes,
I
sir.
take v2 minus v1 upon t2 minus
T2
t1?
minus T1.
y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1 तभी जाके देखो ना, और मीटर पर सेकंड अपॉन सेकंड क्या आएगा? मीटर पर सेकंड स्क्वायर. तो ये ग्राफ तुम्हें यहाँ पे जो ग्राफ ड्रॉ करोगे ना स्टूडेंट्स, इसका स्लोप हमेशा तुम्हें एक्सेलरेशन ही मिलेगा. Okay, now can you tell me for positive acceleration, how do you show it? How do you represent?
So it will go just straight from the origin.
Okay, but will it be inclined at an inclined with the horizontal? Will it be at a certain inclination?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is one. Okay, then let us take it as A. Then to show negative and zero slope.
So negative will be from y to x, y toward x.
Okay, that means this is inclining. Should I show a declining graph? That means?
Yes, sir. Declining
And
graph.
for zero?
So it will be plane, just a straight line with the respect to x by axis.
Very good. Straight line happens parallel to x-axis. Agreed?
Yes, sir.
So this is what the next part of the graph. Let me show it in this manner. This is B. Okay, and this I'll take it as C. See students, what kind of a graph I'm getting? And I'm getting a trapezium. ये किसका है? Velocity time graph. यानी ये क्या बताता है? ये ग्राफ बताता है 0 to A speaks about positive slope. Slope is positive. ये क्या दिखाता है? Slope is 0. ये क्या दिखाता है? Slope is negative. यानी यहाँ पे acceleration positive है students. यहाँ पे तुम्हारा acceleration 0 होगा और यहाँ पे तुम्हारा acceleration negative. Motion is retarded. Now, for this particular correspondingly, do we have certain time over here? Yes, sir. The time is T1. For this part, do we have certain time? Yes, time is T2. For C, we have kept time T. Okay, now Smith, can you give me an example for this?
Yes, sir. An aircraft take offing with the continuous acceleration, and then reaching to a certain height, it fly with the constant speed with a straight line, and after some time it just landed with the exact retardation.
Okay, fine. Nishant, do you want to give an example onto this?
So if you throw a ball vertically upwards, the acceleration starts to be negative. Once it reaches a certain height, acceleration be 0. And when it's falling down, its acceleration becomes positive 9.8 meters per second.
Okay, when the body is going upwards also, at that time also G is acting downwards.
Yeah, so that time it will become negative 9.8.
Okay, but that remains constant then, is it?
So what?
The value of G is constant also, isn't it, for a body moving upwards?
Yeah.
So the graph should be the graph should be parallel. Absolutely correct. We consider. Agreed. In this case, and for this will be what? Zero acceleration we consider. So what he said, it is also fine. Students, iska ek best example, everybody is using it in a day-to-day life. The answer is now, all the students who are into the lecture, students, all of you all might be using it. Now listen carefully. Most of the students might be using lift every day. Students, elevator use karte ho nahi karte, lift use karte ho nahi karte. Suppose agar tum lift mein baithe ho, ध्यान से सुनना, and the lift is not stopping anywhere, okay? Think as if you are staying onto the 20th floor. Listen carefully. You are staying on the 20th floor. You entered into the lift. Okay, you started the motion of the lift, students. The answer sunna. You started the motion of the lift. मुझे ये बताओ जब ये lift का motion initially शुरू होगा, तो can I say for a certain time, don't you feel that the motion is accelerated?
Yes, sir.
Because you were initially at rest, है ना? तुम्हारा lift पूरा rest था. Rest से तुम motion में गए, तो motion accelerated हुआ. तो ये जो है graph OAT क्या दिखाता है? Lift का ऊपर जाना. Are you getting it? ऊपर की तरफ जाना. Maybe for first 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 30 seconds, the motion is accelerated. Students, जैसे lift ground floor से, everybody listen carefully, जैसे lift ground floor से थोड़ा सा first floor की तरफ जाएगा, motion accelerate होगा. उसको कुछ time लगेगा accelerate होने के लिए. लेकिन students, then after what happens? Does the velocity of the lift increases or it remains constant throughout?
Constant flow.
So can I say, ये constant आ गया, है ना? Now think you are trying to reach to the 20th floor. As you're trying to reach to the 20th floor, what happens? The motion starts decelerated at the 19th floor. तो उस टाइम पे उसकी velocity maximum होगी. जैसे तुम 20th floor पे आओगे, what happens is the velocity becomes zero and it takes some time. It takes some time to be brought to zero. So from 19th to 20th floor, can I say the motion is retarded? Acceleration is negative. यानी ये क्या हुआ? ये हुआ moving upwards, motion is accelerated, keeping velocity constant, acceleration is zero, velocity is decreasing, acceleration is negative. This is a graphical way of representation for showing positive acceleration, negative acceleration, and zero slope. Now, if I want to go for the slope of this, I can easily go for it. But देखो ये तो मैं graph मिला students, ये देखो इसी का हम value निकालता है. या तो तुम gradient ले लो, theta ले लो, tan theta भी ले लो, या तुम क्या करो y2 minus y1 upon correspondingly x2 minus x1. तो स्टूडेंट्स देखो ये वैल्यू इससे ग्रेटर है, y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1, तो तुम्हें पॉजिटिव स्लोप ही मिलेगा. यहाँ पे क्या है स्टूडेंट्स, ये देखो ये तुम्हारा x1 है, ये तुम्हारा x2 है, लेकिन मेरा y2 और y1 एक ही वैल्यू है, तो यहाँ पे स्लोप जीरो ही आएगा. बट लुक एट दिस पार्ट ऑफ इट. Suppose if I take this as part and if I show this separately, students, if I'm showing this graph separately, let me show this graph separately. This was point B. This is point C. Now please pay attention for negative slope. Let me take this as x1. Corresponding value is y1. When the lift reaches to the 20th floor, we consider is the time we consider is this. Corresponding y2 is this. Students, what is the slope? y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. Is my answer in negative? Is my answer in negative, students? See, this value is small, this value is greater. 0 minus something upon x2, what's my answer? Negative. This is negative acceleration. So students, inclining graph is always positive slope. The answer is no. कोई भी graph incline होगा तो वो positive ही लेना. Decline होगा तो negative. Parallel to x-axis, slope is 0. क्या ये clear हुआ? When is acceleration positive, acceleration negative, acceleration 0? Students, is it clear? Smith, you want to ask something, Smith?
No, sir. Just forgot to lower the hand.
Okay, fine. Ria, is it clear to you, Ria?
Yes, sir, it's clear.
Okay. Can I erase, students?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Nandgopal, are you there? Nandgopal, are you there? Are you in lecture? Reply, or else you are out. A message sent to him now. Let's see what is his reply. Okay, students. Now, since we said about speed, velocity, and acceleration, students, okay, speed, velocity, and acceleration, students will be now doing problems only related to speed and velocity, students, okay. Then later on, we'll be picking up certain questions from a kinematics using acceleration over there, okay. Now, please listen carefully for the first question, students. And it's a good question, okay. Try to crack it properly, students, okay. Okay. Listen carefully, students, okay. The question asked is, now please pay attention, students, okay. Giving to you R is a radius. The radius is R of a circular path, students. Okay. A particle यहाँ पर है, students. Particle is over here, and let me consider particle is denoted by variable p, students. Okay, a particle moves along a circular path, students, of radius r. It starts from point A. The answer is no, students. It starts from point A and moves in anti-clockwise direction. Anti-clockwise or counter-clockwise, students. Okay. My question to you, students, मुझे चाहिए, listen carefully. I want the magnitude. I want magnitude of displacement. Agreed? Magnitude of displacement and displacement. Magnitude of displacement and displacement traveled by the particle from A to B, A to C, A to D, and then A to back A. Positions are given you. Students, क्या ये clear हुआ students question? Two students already have raised hands. Smith and Nishant has raised hand. Students, once again, the question is, a particle P, okay, is said to move in a circular path of constant radius r. O is the center. The particle is initially at point A. The answer sunna, initially the particle is at point A. मुझे चाहिए magnitude of displacement and displacement traveled by the particle when it moves from A to B in anticlockwise direction, A to C, then from A to D, and then A to back A. And this is your initial position, and this is final position. Anybody else other than Smith and Nishant? Nishant has given the answer also. He's posted the answer. Smith, you also post your answer. Smith, which branch you are from?
So Kandivali West PP Bhatia.
Achha, Kandivali West. Fine. Yes, friends, anybody else? Friends, I had asked you a very simple and a very easy question. And I told you this in very clearly. Distance का मतलब क्या है? Displacement का मतलब क्या है? Once again, I'll speak out the definition. So it's we are speaking about for the definition, students. Distance is the total length covered during the course of journey. Total length covered by a particle during the course of its journey. Okay, that is from initial to final. Displacement is the shortest distance covered from its initial to final position.
Sir,
Absolutely correct.
sir,
Yes.
So I have posted in chat. Can you please check it out?
Body. My dear, I asked you distance and displacement. My dear, acceleration यहाँ से कहाँ पे आया? Body तो motion में है. हाँ? Riya, what made you to say acceleration is negative? Riya, can you explain this?
So I thought in case of displacement, we are supposed to take velocity and acceleration into consideration.
Which one? For this question?
Yes, sir.
I asked you magnitude of displacement and distance, my dear. Look over here now. I wanted to find out this. What is this? Magnitude of displacement and the displacement, magnitude of displacement and displacement travel by the particle from A to B, A to C, A to D, and A to A. Initial positions are this, final position is this. Riya, did you get the question?
Yes, sir, I got the question.
Come on, anybody else? Come on, students. Yes, Smith. The answer is proper. Come on, I'm waiting for another one more person. These two students already are knowing it, students. I want somebody else. Come on, Alisha, Earth, Ashmita. Ashmita, what are you doing? Jason.
Yes.
Ashmita, answer दो अभी. स्मिथ को और निशान को दोनों को सेलो टेप से बिठा दिया मैंने. अभी आंसर दो. पार्थ, come on, answer Parth. Mayank, Purvi, Swapnil. Mayank and Swapnil, you all were answering initially, isn't it? Swapnil, what about you? I feel so Mayank was also one of the students who was answering. Swapnil, what about you? Answer, Swapnil.
Sir, I'm finding displacement. I got distance.
Achha, you're finding a displacement tough.
Yes, actually I'm facing problem that magnitude of displacement is there, no? So
थोड़ा ध्यान से अगर समझेगा तो इजीली है. मुझे बताओ डिस्प्लेसमेंट तो कैसे this thing, how do you show it? Swapnil, displacement का direction कैसे बताएगा? How do you show displacement over here? Suppose if the particle is at point A, at point B, at point C, at point E, so displacement, how do you show it over here?
no, sir, that I got that modulus of AB is equals to under root OA square plus OB square.
No. I want you to show the direction of displacement. तो direction of displacement कैसे बताएगा यहाँ पे? How do you show the direction of displacement for a particle moving along a circular path? So what you'll say? तो तेरा आंसर तो आना चाहिए सर tangent at that point. क्या बोलेगा तू? हाँ?
Tangent.
यहाँ से शुरू करेगा ना, तो ये तेरा डिस्प्लेसमेंट हुआ, ये तेरा डिस्प्लेसमेंट हुआ, ये तेरा डिस्प्लेसमेंट. स्टूडेंट्स ध्यान से सुनना, ये तुम्हारा डिस्प्लेसमेंट है. At every point a tangent drawn, students will be always will be the displacement. अभी ध्यान से सुनना, everybody listen carefully. Students ध्यान से सुनना, okay? Suppose students, if I have a piece of chalk, ध्यान से सुनना. Suppose if I'm taking live lectures and I have a piece of chalk, अगर मैं chalk को फेंकता हूं, तो chalk जब भी move करेगा, तो can I say this becomes a direction of propagation? So this becomes a displacement of the chalk. It is going in a particular direction with a certain speed. Now suppose if I try to find out displacement with respect to time, तो क्या हो जाएगा? Velocity. यानी जिस डायरेक्शन में मैंने चॉक को फेंका, उसी को अगर मैंने टाइम के हिसाब से ले लिया, तो वो मुझे मिल जाएगा वेलोसिटी. अगर मैंने उसी वेलोसिटी को मैंने ले लिया विद रिस्पेक्ट टू टाइम तो मुझे मिल जाएगा एक्सेलरेशन। उसी वेलोसिटी को अगर मैंने मास से मल्टीप्लाई कर दिया तो मुझे मिल जाएगा मोमेंटम। उसी एक्सेलरेशन को मैंने मास से मल्टीप्लाई कर दिया तो मुझे मिल जाएगा फोर्स। यानी स्टूडेंट्स हुआ क्या है, व्हाट एम आई ट्राइंग टू डू? सर आपने अगर चौक को हॉरिजॉन्टली फेंका तो डिस्प्लेसमेंट, वेलोसिटी, लीनियर मोमेंटम, लीनियर एक्सेलरेशन, फोर्स सारे एक ही डायरेक्शन में होंगे स्टूडेंट्स, सारे एक ही डायरेक्शन में होंगे। तो जिस डायरेक्शन में डिस्प्लेसमेंट होगा उसी डायरेक्शन में वेलोसिटी भी होगा स्टूडेंट्स। जिस डायरेक्शन में वेलोसिटी होगा उसी डायरेक्शन में लीनियर एक्सेलरेशन या टैंजेंशियल एक्सेलरेशन होगा। जिस डायरेक्शन में टैंजेंशियल एक्सेलरेशन होगा उसी डायरेक्शन में टैंजेंशियल फोर्स भी होगा। जिस डायरेक्शन में लीनियर वेलोसिटी होगी उसी डायरेक्शन के अंदर लीनियर मोमेंटम या टैंजेंशियल मोमेंटम भी होगा। क्या ये पार्ट क्लियर हुआ सबको? Is this clear students?
Explain again, sir. Please can you explain again?
हाँ तू बाहर जा वापस अंदर आ, पता चला मेरे को।
पर बाहर नहीं गया था।
नाटी बॉय, ओके
सर बाहर नहीं गया था, यहाँ पर ही था अभी पूरे क्लास के दौरान यहाँ पर।
fine fine fine. So I was just saying that vectors when they are trying to act in the same direction we can rule out the arrow over the heads. यहाँ पे the direction in which the displacement is taking place, the velocity also will be in the same direction.
Yes.
Actually also in the same direction we consider. I'm getting it. So अगर a particle is going along a circular path students, so a tangent drawn at every point वो क्या दिखाएगा? A tangent drawn at any point will speak about the displacement. Now when I ask you what exactly the displacement covered and the distance covered in the first case. Yes, Nishant, answer for the first one.
So okay, so for the first one, we take OA, which is the first vector, and the second vector is OB. Now by triangle, by what do you say? Addition of vectors a square plus b square plus 2ab cos theta. We just square them. So OA is equal to r and OB is equal to r because they're the radius of the circle. So r square plus r square plus 2ab cos theta. Cos theta is 90 because the angle between OB and OA is 90 degrees. Now, so now cos 90 is equal to 0. So then it's a square plus b square.
Absolutely correct. Students ध्यान से सुनना, मैंने क्या पूछा? डिस्टेंस और डिस्प्लेसमेंट। सबसे पहले हम डिस्टेंस फाइंड आउट करते हैं। स्टूडेंट तुमने यहाँ से शुरू, देखो मैंने ये पार्ट ड्रॉ किया, क्वार्टर ऑफ अ सर्कल ड्रॉ किया, तुमने ए से शुरू किया और बी तक पहुंचे। स्टूडेंट्स मेनी स्टूडेंट्स हैव डन सच काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चंस इन क्लास 9th. CBSE students must have done it, ICC students must have done it. How could you have a mental block? How could you block yourself for such kind of questions? मुझे ये पता नहीं चलता। यानी जो चीज तुम 1.5 साल के बाद में वापस किसी ने थ्रो कर दिया, you are lost. Students, this is something assigned to worry. I'm telling you very clearly. Exactly ऐसे टाइप के क्वेश्चन तुम लोगों ने किए हैं 9th में, 110% श्योर। शायद 100 एग्जांपल्स भी है जब तक मुझे याद है। तो SSC के टेक्स्ट बुक में भी दिया है ऐसे 9th में, मोशन स्ट्रेट लाइन के अंदर। लेकिन जो चीज तुम लोगों ने पढ़ी है 2019 में, 2021 के अंदर you are still a question mark. रिकलेक्ट नहीं हो रहा है, याद नहीं हो रहा है, भूल गए। ये भी तो 2 साल की स्टडीज है ना स्टूडेंट्स, सुन रहे हो? ये भी तो 2 साल की स्टडीज है ना। यहाँ पे कितनी सिंसियरिटी थी, ना ही पेंडेमिक था। लेकिन अभी जो तुम पढ़ रहे हो 2021 2023 में करोगे ना, ये भी तो 2 साल की स्टडीज है। जब ये याद नहीं रह रहा है स्टूडेंट्स, जब ये याद नहीं रह रहा है, इतनी सिंसियरिटी के साथ में कर रहे थे, यहाँ पे तो सिंसियरिटी बहुत कम हो गई है। तो क्या याद रहेगा? आ गया ना बड़ा क्वेश्चन मार्क। This is what you have to understand in studies. That's why I made it very clear, students. If you're getting time right now, if your lectures are not to that extent much, I told you, go through your 9th, go through your 10th very properly and try to pick up physics properly. Go through your maths also properly in that case. Build up your confidence in that. And then go on solving questions. Then you'll crack it. Those are of no use. Now when I speak about what exactly the distance covered over here, सबसे पहले हम distance के बारे में बात करेंगे। तो distance कहाँ से कहाँ शुरू हो रहा है? So it's going from point A and you're going to point B. Distance क्या होगा? Students, it's a length of arc. Students, it's a length of arc. Answer सुना students. Distance is what? Length of arc. How do you go about with length of arc, students? So theta is length of arc upon radius. What is length of arc? So length of arc is starting from point A to point B upon R. What is theta? Friends, what is theta at this instant? So theta is 90 degree. Theta is 90 degrees. So can I run theta ko pi by 2? Yes, sir. R can I multiply over here? Yes, sir. What exactly this is? Length of AB? Yes, sir. Is that the distance covered? Why not? That's the magnitude of distance covered. क्या ये क्लियर हुआ सबको? सबसे पहले डिस्टेंस के बारे में, सबसे पहले डिस्टेंस के बारे में क्लियर हुआ? देखो ना, डिस्टेंस का मतलब क्या है? तुम सर्कुलर पाथ में जा रहे हो तो तुमने यहां से शुरू किया, ये तुम्हारा मोशन है, ये डिस्टेंस हुआ। डिस्टेंस का डेफिनेशन क्या बोला था मैंने? द टोटल लेंथ कवर्ड बाय द बॉडी फ्रॉम इनिशियल टू फाइनल, टोटल लेंथ। डिस्प्लेसमेंट क्या होगा? निशांत ने क्या यूज किया यहाँ पे वेक्टर्स यूज किया है। सेम थिंग स्वप्निल ने थ्रो किया आंसर, उन्होंने क्या किया? वेक्टर्स यूज किया। डिस्प्लेसमेंट, इज इट अ वेक्टर क्वांटिटी? यस, इट्स अ वेक्टर क्वांटिटी। इट्स द शॉर्टेस्ट डिस्टेंस कवर्ड फ्रॉम वेयर टू वेयर? फ्रॉम इनिशियल टू फाइनल। इनिशियल टू फाइनल वी कंसीडर इन दिस केस, है ना? ये तुम्हारा डिस्प्लेसमेंट हो गया। यहां से यहाँ पे तुम्हारा डिस्प्लेसमेंट हो गया। तो हाउ डू यू फाइंड आउट दिस डिस्प्लेसमेंट स्टूडेंट्स? तो या तो तुम वेक्टर्स को शिफ्ट कर दो, है ना? ये देखो, इसको मैंने शिफ्ट कर दिया, ये भी एस बार, ध्यान से सुनना, ये भी एस बार था डिस्प्लेसमेंट, और ये तुम्हारा रिजल्टेंट। व्हाट इज द एंगल फॉर्म बिटवीन देम स्टूडेंट्स? इज इट 90? स्टूडेंट्स, इज इट 90? Agreed? Did I shift this vector parallel to itself? Nishan, Swapnil, did you get it? I shifted this vector parallel to itself. The angle between the two vectors, can I take it as 90? Yes. Am I getting the resultant along the diagonal? Is my resultant over here also in this direction? Yes. See, यहाँ का resultant देखो, तुम जा रहे हो A से B, स्टूडेंट्स मेरा resultant का डायरेक्शन देखो, इस तरफ ही जा रहा है ना, तो ये भी तो यहाँ पे हुआ। तो how do you find out resultant, students? How do you find out resultant? Students, the resultant we consider in this case, in terms of its magnitude, we consider, how do I consider will be? So resultant of the displacement in terms of magnitude, we consider displacement in terms of magnitude, we consider will be equal to what? Will be equal to what? So this will be under root s square plus s square. Agreed? Agreed? We consider in terms of it. That is how. Yes, these are the length of the arrow. So can I consider both of them in terms of radius only? Yes. तो इसको मैं r square लिख सकता हूँ, क्यों नहीं? It's r square plus 2 into r square. Theta is 90, students. What is cos of 90? Will be 0. What's my resultant displacement? Root 2r. क्या ये clear हुआ सबको? Is this clear, students?
Yes, sir.
So students, when you're moving from A to B, what exactly my distance covered we consider? It's pi r by 2. What exactly my displacement we consider? Root 2. अगर suppose इसको मुझे वेक्टर में लिखना है स्टूडेंट्स, जैसे ये देखो, ये तुमने अगर मुझे वेक्टर में लिखना है स्टूडेंट्स, तो कैसे लिखूंगा मैं? So this I'll show it in this manner. ये है पोजीशन और ये एक पोजीशन। प्लीज पे अटेंशन, एवरीबॉडी लुक इनटू इट। ये है तुम्हारा पोजीशन है और ये तुम्हारा पोजीशन बी। कैन यू गिव मी द कोऑर्डिनेट्स ऑफ दिस? हेलो, कैन यू गिव मी द कोऑर्डिनेट्स ऑफ दिस? तो क्या बोलोगे? व्हाट विल से? r xi, 0. Agreed? Agreed? यहाँ के कोऑर्डिनेट्स क्या हो गए स्टूडेंट्स? यहाँ के कोऑर्डिनेट्स क्या हो गए सर? x कोऑर्डिनेट तो 0 होगा। r y, क्या समझ में आया? ये कोऑर्डिनेट्स हो गया। अगर मुझे इसका मुझे रिजल्टेंट चाहिए तो क्या हुआ? r square plus r square आया कि नहीं आया? देखो ना, and the angle between those 90 root 2r. क्या ये क्लियर हुआ to all the students inside the group? Students, is the first question clear to all of you all?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Fine. Swapnil, is it clear to you? Mayank? Swapnil,
Yes,
Mayank?
yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay,
Yes,
fine.
sir.
It's no use of asking Purvi and these people because they don't answer. They don't answer at all. I feel it in this manner. So I need to ask only to those students who respond or those who reply. And Ashmita, is there network issues there? What you're going out and coming back in, Ashmita?
Yes, sir. I'm facing a little network issue.
Okay, fine. Okay, now can you give me an answer from A to C, students? Would you about A to C? So what exactly the distance covered? The distance kya hoga, students?
Distance will be half into 2 pi r.
Very good, very good. And what exactly the displacement will be?
Displacement will be 2r.
Why 2r? Why 2r?
So because get half into 2 pi r, which will be equals to pi into r, and therefore displacement a into z, which is and our radius is r. So then for displacement will be sorry, displacement
स्वप्निल तेरे को ये बोलना था डिस्प्लेसमेंट इज द शॉर्टेस्ट डिस्टेंस, है ना? अभी ध्यान से देखना स्टूडेंट्स, तुमने पॉइंट सेकंड वाला तुमने पॉइंट ए से शुरू किया स्टूडेंट्स, यू वांट टू रीच एट पॉइंट सी. अगर तुम ऐसे जाते हो तो ये तुम्हारा डिस्टेंस हो जाएगा, है ना? डिस्प्लेसमेंट क्या है? शॉर्टेस्ट डिस्टेंस फ्रॉम इट्स इनिशियल. ये तुम्हारा इनिशियल पोजीशन है और ये तुम्हारा फाइनल पोजीशन हुआ. तो ये क्या दिखाएगा? ये डिस्प्लेसमेंट दिखाएगा स्टूडेंट्स. और ये क्या दिखाएगा? डिस्टेंस दिखाएगा. दोनों क्वेश्चन पूछा है ना, डिस्टेंस और डिस्प्लेसमेंट. मुझे बताओ व्हाट इज द डिस्टेंस? सर डिस्टेंस विल बी इक्वल टू लेंथ ऑफ आर्क. अगर मैं पूरा सर्कल लेता हूं तो डिस्टेंस विल बी व्हाट 2 पार, लेकिन ये तो आधा है तो कहना से सिंपली पार हो जाएगा. क्या ये क्लियर हुआ स्टूडेंट्स? पूरे सर्कल का इफ आई टू गो फॉर लेंथ, व्हाट इज लेंथ ऑफ द सर्कल स्टूडेंट्स? लेंथ ऑफ सर्कल is equal to perimeter of circle, and that is equal to 2 pi r. What is length of semicircle? Perimeter of semicircle only, that is pi r. If I ask you for the entire course of journey, we consider ये तुम्हारा s हुआ. What is displacement? So displacement is from initial to final. What is that? So that is twice the radius, simply diameter. Because ये shortest distance हुआ और ये तुम्हारा distance हुआ. क्या ये क्लियर हुआ सेकंड के लिए A to C?
Oh yes sir.
A to D. अगर सपोज मैं A to D जाता हूँ स्टूडेंट्स, अभी देखो A to D गया, मुझे बताओ स्टूडेंट्स क्या ये डिस्टेंस कितना होगा? चलो बताओ अभी ये डिस्टेंस कितना होगा?
3/4
ऑफ द सर्कल. अभी देखो तुम्हें पूरा सर्कल कितना है, लेंथ कितना है पूरा? ध्यान से देखो लेंथ कितना है, 2 पाई आर है ना पूरा. अभी देखो तुम्हें डायरेक्ट आंसर ये तो कैसे करोगे सर, पूरा डिस्टेंस 2 पाई आर है, लेकिन हम लोग कितना कवर कर रहे हैं? 3/4. सपोज अगर तुम्हें पिज्जा दिया है, पिज्जा में से तुम्हारे पापा ने 3/4 खुद के लिए लिख दिया, 1/4 तुम्हारे लिए, तो झगड़ा करोगे ना? फिर पापा ने बोला चलो मेरा ये पिज्जा चाहिए, तो व्हाट एग्जैक्टली द लेंथ ऑफ द आर्क? ये क्वेश्चन पूछा तुम्हें, तुम तो आंसर नहीं दे सकोगे, तो पूरा पापा खा जाएंगे, तुम्हें सिर्फ 1/4 ही मिलेगा. इसलिए बोलो फिजिक्स पढ़ो. I get it. So what is the length of arc we consider is? Say पूरा circumference 2 pi r है, उसका 3/4 लेना ना. ये देखो 3/4 of the length. So can I say this becomes twice? So what's my answer? Is this clear, students? ये किसके लिए है? Distance covered. What is the displacement? Students, what is the displacement? Exactly same over here. ये भी r है, ये भी r है. Initial position is this. Final, can I say this becomes the displacement we consider? So can I say this is also angle is 90 degree, root 2r. क्या ये clear हुआ students?
Yes sir.
Yes, sir.
The way the displacement was over here, the same thing the displacement is in this direction we consider. This is also r, this is also r we consider, root 2r. This is also r, this is also r, this is root 2r. इसके coordinates में x positive होगा, y 0 होगा. इसमें x 0 था, y coordinate positive होगा. यहाँ
So
पे
the
तुम्हारा
arrow
y
should be from D to A, no? Not A to D, because it is going towards D.
Pardon?
No, so you drew the arrow from A to D. It should be D to A, right? Because it's going towards A.
हाँ.
Correct or wrong?
Wait a minute. What are you saying it?
So you drew the arrow from A to D, right? The arrow.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So it should be from D to A, right? Because it's going towards A.
My displacement is from A to D itself only, na? Displacement is final minus initial. If I do final minus initial, the vector का sign change हो जाएगा ना, ये opposite हो जाएगा. Final minus initial. ये देखो इसका direction opposite करो.
Okay, fine.
निशान वापस हाँ, इसको देख opposite कर. ये final है. ये तो पता है ना, ये final है.
Yes, sir.
ये initial है. मैंने बोला final minus initial. Minus initial. अब इसको shift कर. I getting it? If I consider in this manner.
Okay, got it.
I getting it?
Yes,
okay.
sir.
What about when I reach back to A? Students, starting from A and coming back to A.
2 pi r distance.
Distance will be equal to 2 pi r. And what is the displacement?
0 because
0.
Yes. Why?
Because a displacement is it is
If we do initial
the shortest
minus final
distance.
Initial point and
Now the
final
shortest
point is the
distance
same.
between A to A is 0.
Yes. The initial position and final position is the same, students. Okay. Let us go for the next question. The students, do keep in mind, distance is the total length. Okay. And displacement is the shortest length from initial to final. Do take care of that. Now, suppose students, if I give you a question, listen carefully, okay? Let's see how many of you can get the answer. I want you to get my final answer for average velocity. I want in this manner. Okay. 3 times V0 into bracket V1 plus V2 upon V1 plus V2 plus 4V0. Now, students, I'm giving it my final answer. It's at 50. Okay. Let us go for the question, students. The question is, the answer is, students, a body covers 1/3 of its journey with a speed V0. Now, suppose if the journey starts from point A and it reaches to point B, everybody please concentrate over here. Okay. Let us say that the total length of the journey is X and the total time is capital T. Time taken for the journey is T and distance is X. What is average velocity in this case? So, sir, average velocity is the total distance covered upon total time.
So
Clear
X by T.
Yes, absolutely correct. X by T होगा. Agreed? अभी देखो problem क्या बोल रहा है मालूम है? A body covers 1/3 of its journey with speed V0. Friends, 1/3 of the journey with speed V0. Can you tell me 1/3 of the journey का मतलब what is the distance covered? Fast.
1/3.
X upon
1/3 times what?
1/3.
So X by
X upon
3 into
3
V0.
Yes, X upon 3. Friends, 1/3 of the journey. यानी ये कितना होगा? X by 3 होगा, है ना? ये क्या होगा? Distance. ये क्या है? Speed. Everybody listen carefully. Can you tell me what is the time taken for this journey? To cover this distance, what is the time taken? Students, what is the time taken for this journey? So तुम क्या बोलोगे? Speed is equal to distance upon time. So what is time? Distance
X
upon, which can I say? X upon 3V0. क्या ये clear हुआ सबको?
Yes, sir.
Please, students,
Yes,
I'm reading.
Yes, sir.
I'm reading the question for you all, but at the same time, I'm giving you few hints, and then I'll tell you to solve it by yourself to get this answer. Okay. Once again, students, the question says that a body covers 1/3, यानी 1/3 of the distance. Let us say this is 1/3, यानी the point is at P. इसके लिए तुम्हें distance is X by 3, and it's covering this distance with V0. So time taken to move from A to B is this much. Now I'm reading the problem further ahead. The remaining portion, अभी ध्यान से सुना, it's a complicated statement. The remaining portion of the distance was covered. चलो ये हुआ remaining portion. Sorry, CB is the remaining portion. I getting it? अगर CB is the remaining portion, students, so can you tell me what is the remaining distance?
2x upon 3.
Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. उसने क्या किया? Remaining distance. Smith answered. Remaining distance क्या होगा? Sir, x is the total distance. उसमें से ये distance निकाल दो ना, है ना स्टूडेंट्स? देखो, what is the remaining distance? क्या ये क्लियर हुआ? Everybody agreed students? यहाँ से यहाँ तक का remaining distance. Students, is it clear? Remaining distance. X is the complete distance. This much is x by 3. What is the remaining distance to x by 3? What is the remaining time? What is the remaining time? What is the time taken?
E0.
So remaining time क्या होगा? Total time में से इसको subtract करना है, इसको subtract करना है, x upon 3v0. क्या ये clear हुआ सबको? Students, before going further ahead, I want you to give a confirmation for this. Is this clear to all the students? क्योंकि इसके बाद में I'm going to throw a question. I'm going to throw a question at you all, and that I'm not going to solve it at all. You have to solve it by yourself. अगर तुम इसको समझोगे अच्छी तरह से, तो you'll be getting such kind of questions.
One second, sir, I'm finishing writing it. Just 1 second.
बाद में लिखना ना, I'll give you time, my dear. I'll give you time. Don't worry. Okay. So students, listen carefully. Okay, the body covers a distance 1/3 of the total with speed v0. Time taken to cover that will be x upon 3v0. The remaining distance is 2x by 3, and the remaining time taken to cover that distance is x minus 3 by v0. Now I'll read the question further. Right? Now listen carefully. The remaining portion of the distance was covered with v1. The answer is no, with v1 for half the remaining time. And with velocity v2 for other half of the remaining time. यानी कुछ distance v1 से speed से cover किया, लेकिन half the remaining time, और कुछ distance v2 से cover किया, remaining half of the time. सुन, सबसे पहले अगर मैंने पूछा, can you find out half the remaining time का formula? half
into t minus x upon 3v0 into v1.
Yeah. ये क्या होगा? half the remaining time यानी क्या होगा? 1/2 आया, t minus x upon 3v0. क्या ये clear हुआ students? Is this part clear to all of them? half the remaining time यानी इसको divide by 2 कर दो, हो गया तुम्हारा. Now, once again the statement I'm reading it, students. Okay. The remaining portion of the distance was covered with velocity v1. Remaining portion. तुम्हें नहीं मालूम कितना है? सोचो कि ये एक पार्ट है जिसको मैं लेता हूं e. Let us say this is distance d1. Are you getting it? और ये जो distance है, let me take this as d2. ये जो distance है, students, it is covered with velocity v1. ये distance है, उन्होंने बोला with velocity v2. But time taken in both the cases is how much? What is the time taken in both the cases we consider is?
T minus x upon 3v.
Yes, it's half. यानी कहने से ये होगा half the remaining time. So students, can you tell me what is the distance covered in half the remaining time? Can you give me the formula for d1 over here? Likewise, can you give me the formula for d2 over here? कोई बता सकता है?
Yeah.
d1 का formula यहाँ पे क्या होगा? d2 का formula क्या होगा? Anybody?
Yeah.
बोलो.
So 2x upon 3 equals to half into t minus x upon 3v v0 into v1 plus half to the t minus x upon 3v0 into v2.
Absolutely correct. Students, ये देखो, ये रॉकेट साइंस नहीं है. इसने क्या किया मालूम है? स्वप्निल, you only answered ना?
So Smith.
Yeah, Smith. Okay, sorry. अब देखो स्टूडेंट्स, उसने क्या किया? उसने यही फॉर्मूला दिया है, स्पीड इज इक्वल टू डिस्टेंस अपॉन टाइम. हेलो स्टूडेंट्स, देखो ना, फॉर्मूला यही दिया है, स्पीड इज इक्वल टू डिस्टेंस अपॉन टाइम. तो व्हाट एग्जैक्टली डिस्टेंस? स्टूडेंट्स आंसर देखो, व्हाट इज डिस्टेंस? तो डिस्टेंस क्या है? सो डिस्टेंस इज S speed into time, speed into time. देखो अभी ध्यान से देखना, S की जगह पे मैंने क्या लिखा स्टूडेंट्स, मैंने डिस्टेंस लिखा d1 पहले केस के लिए, है ना। पहले इसके लिए v क्या होगा सर, v1 आएगा, और द टाइम टेकन हाफ द रिमेनिंग टाइम होगा, तो सर ये होगा इनटू हाफ, यानी v1/2 ब्रैकेट में होगा t माइनस x अपॉन 3v0। क्या ये रॉकेट साइंस था? What is the distance covered in the second case? अरे सेम थिंग, स्पीड इनटू टाइम। स्पीड कितना दिया है, v2 दिया है, इसका फॉर्मूला क्या होगा, v2, टाइम तो वही है ना। क्या ये क्लियर हुआ स्टूडेंट्स? यानी इन द फर्स्ट केस द डिस्टेंस कवर्ड इज x/3, अ पार्ट ऑफ इट, ये जो डिस्टेंस है वो d1 है, ये जो डिस्टेंस है वो d2 है। Now the question asks students, find out average speed. Can you get the answer for average speed as this? Hope the question is clear to all the students. Hope the question is clear to all the students now. Once again, I'll read out the question, students. Listen carefully. The question is, students, a body covers 1/3. A body covers 1/3 of the journey with speed v0. The remaining portion of the distance, was covered with velocity v1 for half the remaining time, and with velocity v2 for half the remaining time. Assuming the body to travel along a straight path. Assuming the body to travel always along the straight path, students, find average velocity. I want this answer. Is the question clear to all of you all now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Find out average velocity, total distance upon total time. Okay, students. Yes, Smith. Who wants to answer for this? Smith, you want to answer?
So I can try.
Bolo.
Sir, in this, we have that I have taken that 2x upon 3 equals to half into t minus x upon 3 v0 plus v2 upon 2 into t minus x3 upon v0 v0.
Okay, fine. Students, उसने क्या किया मालूम है? उसने जो remaining distance है ना, उसका expression लिया. He picked up the remaining distance as 2x by 3. Notice that remaining distance is the distance covered. That is what? d1 plus d2. That is remaining distance d1 plus d2. So what exactly did students? He put it as v1 by 2 t minus x upon 3 v0 plus v2 by 2 t minus x upon 3 v0. Doesn't matter. You can use this also. मुझे चाहिए क्या average velocity यानी I want total upon x by t चाहिए students. इसको solve करो. Can you get an answer x by t? Why not? अब यहाँ पे देखो 2x by 3 students. Listen carefully. 2x by 3 when your concern over here is what exactly your consider will be? Sir, यहाँ पे तुम्हारा LCM 2 है. Everybody listen carefully. Is that clear? Students, is it clear? So what am I trying to do? We'll try to multiply. ये पूरे टर्म को multiply करो तुम. तो ये क्या होगा सर? v1 t by 2 minus v1 x by 3 v0 agreed plus v2 into t by 2 minus v2 x by 3 v0. अभी तुम क्या करोगे स्टूडेंट्स? टेक x टर्म्स टुगेदर एंड t टर्म्स टुगेदर. खत्म हो गया. अभी देखो x टर्म्स को साथ में लो. ये x टर्म यहाँ पे है ना, तुम क्या करोगे मालूम है? ये x टर्म को इस तरफ शिफ्ट करो और ये जो x टर्म है उसको भी इस तरफ शिफ्ट करो. So now students, see what exactly my answer will be. 2x by 3, if I take it on the other side, what exactly my answer will be? Students, 2x by 3, take this. So can I say this becomes positive? This also becomes positive. If I remove, अभी देखो इसका आंसर मैं ऊपर लिख रहा हूँ. Students, please pay attention. X को मैं कॉमन डाल रहा हूँ. ब्रैकेट में क्या आएगा? 2 by 3. ये माइनस इस तरफ आएगा तो प्लस हो जाएगा. v1 upon 3 v0. If I take this on the other side, can I say plus v2 upon 3 v0? क्या ये क्लियर हुआ? And on the right hand side, can I remove t common? ये देखो, ये t है, ये t है. Can I remove t common? Or t by 2 common I can consider? Yes, t by 2 I can remove common. क्या आएगा? v1 plus v2. Is this clear, students? Or I can put 2 over here. Doesn't matter. क्या ये clear हुआ, students? Now take the ratio of x by t. Take the ratio of x by t. Solving this, you'll get this answer. Is the question clear to all of you all?
No, sir.
Okay. Please, students, try to understand this. Now, see, he went it for remaining distance. Could I have taken directly average speed is total distance upon total time? Can I take numerator में x and can I take time taken for this plus time taken for this plus time taken for this? क्या ये भी ले सकता था मैं? Sorry, time taken for this plus time taken for this. दोनों केस में half the time था. Now, students, can I take this equation? Total distance, please, everybody, please, everybody, dance to what am I trying to tell you? Average velocity is total displacement upon total time. Total को मैं यहाँ पे x ही लिख रहा हूँ. Students, total time के लिए मैंने क्या किया है? Can I take first this as the time? For second and third students, what is the time taken? यही है ना? So could I take this in the denominator? This would have given me the answer. Students, total distance upon total time. Not at all. Why? Why? Because my expression needs v1 and v2. Look over here. यहाँ पे इस time में there is no v1 v2. इस time के अंदर there is no v1 and v2. That is why I can't go for total time in the denominator, students. That is why I went for remaining distance. When I took the remaining distance as 2x by 3, a part of the remaining distance was d1 and the rest part was d2. When I added both of them, I had v1, I had v2, I had t, I had v0, and this is what is my problem based on. And students, when you're trying to solve it, look at the options and then change your format of solving. क्या ये clear हुआ students सबको?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, please, right now, I wanted to solve unsolved question. The answers are students. Unsolved question, page number. If you have a module in front of you, students, page number 53. Question number 4. Question number 4 has students 4 parts. Question number 4 has 4 parts. Part A, Part B, Part C are easy. Part A, Part B, Part C are easy. I wanted to solve question number 4, the D part. Kinematics chapter, page number 53. It's an in chapter unsolved problem. Page number 53, students. Question number 4, D part. Is the question clear to all of you all? Students, is the question clear to all of you all?
Yes, sir.
Okay. क्या मैं erase कर दूं इसको? Can I erase it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Those who have understood this, take it from me. Those who have understood this will be able to crack this part. And those who are not listening properly, not alert, not attentive, not asking again, sir, can you explain this? They will all get stuck up. Yes, Nishant and Smith, have you completed it? Both of you? Raise hand.
Not yet. No, that was from before 1 minute.
Okay, fine. It's a good question, students. Thoda sa soch ke karo. The way I had explained to students. Smith, you have completed your raised hand. Huh, Smith?
So almost.
Very good. Come on, man. What about you, man? Swapnil, what are you doing? Parth, what are you doing? Jason, what are you doing? Ashmita, even you are lost. Alicia. Shlok, what about you, Shlok? Shubham?
Yes, sir. Understand.
Okay, Shubham, what about you, Shubham? Acharya?
Fine, sir.
And Shubham Gupta, what about you? Shubham Gupta, are you there? Shubham Gupta, are you there?
So are you calling me?
No.
Yes, I'm calling you.
Soham?
Yeah, Soham.
Yeah, sir, I'm there.
Okay, but are you getting it?
Yes, sir, I'm getting it.
Okay. And what about Shubham Gupta? Gupta, are you there? Reply.
Yes, sir. Sir, done.
Okay. Shubham Gupta, you have done?
Sir, Smith.
Okay, Smith, you have done. Is your
Yes, sir.
answer getting matched up?
Yes, sir.
Done.
Very good, very good. 2 students have already done. Anybody who wants to give an answer other than these two? Anybody who wants to answer other than these two? Who wants to give an answer? Okay, fine. Yes, who wants to answer? Smith, you or Nishant? किसको answer देना है? Smith, you want to answer, Smith?
Yes, sir. I can.
बोलो.
So I have taken that it was given that in the 1/5 of the time covered with the speed v1 and the remaining time 3/4 of the remaining distance. So sir, I have taken divided it into 2 parts, which is T1 and T2.
Absolutely correct.
Yes, sir. So which is v1 equals to a upon 3 and v2 equals to T2 upon 4. v3 equals to 3T2 upon 4.
Okay.
So sir, a distance, then the distance which equal to v2 into T2 upon 4 and distance d2 which is equal to v3 into 3T2 upon 4.
Okay.
Then with the formula average velocity equals to d upon dt, and I have taken time equals to, we have assumed that time equals to T1 plus T2. So distance upon T1 plus T2, which gives d upon 3 plus v upon v1 plus d upon 3 v2 plus 3 v3.
Okay.
So now from b to d, hence b to d, v2 up into T2 upon 4 plus 3 v3 upon into T2 upon 4 equals to 2d upon 3, which gives T2 upon 4. Therefore, T2 upon 4 into v2 plus 3 v cube v3, which is equal to 2d upon 3. So I have taken that as an equation to T2 equals to 8d.
Okay, and then you have taken the ratio of distance upon time.
Yes, sir.
Okay, लेकिन मुझे बता, जब भी तूने equation select किया तो did you use time as an equation, distance as an equation? जैसे तो previous case में remaining distance लिया था, तो did you took remaining time over here and solved it?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely correct. Students, please, ये question और अगले question में कुछ change नहीं था. Students, it was exactly identical. The only thing was over there, my expression was remaining distance, d1 plus d2. यहाँ पे remaining time आएगा t1 plus t2. That's all. I don't know what makes you all not to work onto such kind of questions in spite of doing the previous one. Now let me read you this one. This is in chapter page number 53, question number 4, unsolved problem D. I'll read the question, students. A body is moving in a straight path, students, covers a certain distance in the following 4 separate cases. The 4th case. Okay. Let us say the distance covered be X and the time taken be T, students, for the complete course of journey. Now I'm going for the 4th condition, that is for D part of it, students. उन्होंने बोला है 1/5 of the time is covered with speed v1, यानी 1/5 of time, यानी t/5, है ना, 1/5 of the time that is covered with the speed v1, students. So can you tell me what is the distance covered in this case? What was the distance covered in this case? तो तुम्हारा आंसर क्या होगा? You know that speed is equal to distance upon time. So what is actually distance will be speed into time? So can I say it will be v1 t upon 5? क्या ये clear हुआ students सबको? Is this part clear to all of you all?
Yes, sir.
1/5 of the time is covered with the speed v1 and in the remaining time, students, and in the remaining time, let us say ये distance में assume करो कि यहाँ तक है, ये तुम्हारा remaining distance हो गया. Remaining distance will be covered in remaining time, ना students? Remaining distance will be covered in remaining time. What is remaining time, students? तो तुम्हारा remaining time क्या होगा? So remaining time will be total time. वैसे ये time को subtract कर दो तो क्या आंसर आएगा? 4t/5. क्या ये क्लियर हुआ स्टूडेंट्स? Remaining time. वैसे ही what is remaining distance? What is remaining distance? Sir, remaining distance ये distance तो यहाँ से यहाँ पे है. Total distance x है. Remaining distance यानी आप C2 भी पूछ रहे हो, यानी इसमें से इसको separate करो. सीधा हिसाब था स्टूडेंट्स, स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड था ये. So it was x minus v1t/5. Now I'll reread the second statement, students. So 1/5 of the time it is covering with the speed v1. Now the remaining time, in the remaining time, students, in the remaining time, 3/4 of the remaining distance is covered. यानी प्लीज पेड एंड ये तुम्हारा remaining distance है ना, उसका 3/4 स्टूडेंट्स, और ये बन जाएगा 1/4. Everybody listen carefully. 3/4 of the remaining distance. Students, 3/4 of the remaining distance. Can you tell me what is d1 for 3/4 of the remaining distance? क्या हो जाएगा? So can I say, sir, ये होगा 3/4 times remaining distance is what? X minus v1t/5. यहां से यहाँ पे क्या होगा? d2. अगर ये 3/4 of the distance है तो ये कितना बन गया? 1/4 है. तो 1/4 of what? X minus v1t/5. क्या ये क्लियर हुआ स्टूडेंट्स? Is this statement clear with you all? The remaining 3/4 of the distance. The remaining 3/4 of the distance is this. 3/4 times into. Remaining 1/4 of the distance is this. And this remaining 3/4 of the distance, students, this remaining 3/4 of the distance, students, is covered with speed v2. And the remaining 1/4 of the distance is covered with speed v3. Students, can you find out time for covering this distance? Yes, sir. Time is equal to what? Distance upon speed. Distance upon speed. How much is the distance? So distance will be 3x minus v1t/5 upon 4 into what exactly you consider will be v2. Is that clear, students? What's the time taken for the second? The distance for the second with speed what? v3. How much is the distance? So it's 1/4 times v3 नीचे है. Bracket में क्या होगा? X minus v1t/5. Is this clear with you? Time for 3/4 of the distance. Time for 1/4 of the distance. Remaining time will be equal to t1 plus t2. What is the remaining time? 4t/5 is equal to t1 plus t2. दोनों को ऐड कर दो. तो अगर मैं दोनों को ऐड कर दूं, students, what exactly I'll get it in this case? 3/4 v2 x minus v1t/5 plus 1/4 v3 x minus v1t/5. Now, can you solve and get me the answer for average total distance upon total time?
Yes, sir.
सिर्फ इसको solve करना है, x by t को separate करना है. Students, क्या ये clear हुआ सबको?
Yes, sir.
It's not only to 1 or 2 students, the rest of them also. Swapnil, are you getting it, Swapnil?
Yes, sir.
Soham, what about you, Soham? Soham, are you there? Shubham, Acharya, are you there?
Sir, I'm here.
Okay. Are you getting it, Soham?
Yes, sir, I'm getting it. I'm getting it. I made a rookie error, sir. Instead of 3/4, I had a 3/5. इसलिए मेरा wrong जा रहा था, sir.
Okay, क्या बात है? Fine, fine, fine.
नहीं तो I was using the same methodology, just the proportions I got wrong.
Preeti, are you getting Preeti?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Please try to now solve this equation and get x by t. So students, question था क्या students? Listen carefully. It wasn't a big question. अगर तुम्हें previous question देखो इसमें तो there is a lot of similarities. वापस में बोल रहा students. The motion was along a straight path. The body starts from point A. It has to reach to point B. The total distance is x. Total time is t. उन्होंने क्या बोला? 1/5 of the time taken was with speed v1. तो distance क्या होगा? The distance will be equal to speed into time. फिर उन्होंने क्या बोला? ये जो remaining distance है ना students, remaining distance. तो remaining distance मैंने find out कर दिया. इसमें से इसको सेपरेट कर दिया. उसके लिए कुछ रिमेनिंग टाइम तो होगा ना. ये रिमेनिंग डिस्टेंस को कवर करने के लिए कुछ रिमेनिंग टाइम तो बचा ना टोटल टाइम में. तो इसमें से इसको मैंने सेपरेट कर दिया. वो रिमेनिंग टाइम हुआ. अभी यही मैं स्टूडेंट्स ये जो रिमेनिंग टाइम है वो रिमेनिंग टाइम को अगर हम कंसीडर करते हैं तो कुछ पार्ट ऑफ द डिस्टेंस हैव गिवन टू यू. उन्होंने क्या बोला है? 3/4 of the distance. Students, 3/4 of the distance was covered with v2 and 1/4 of the distance was covered with v3. यानी जो रिमेनिंग डिस्टेंस है उसमें से 3/4 v2 के स्पीड से गया, v3 से गया. बस तो I found out t1 and t2. Distance upon speed. Remaining time is equal to t1 plus t2. I got the expression. Now solve this and get the answer. To solve this, can I erase this part, students? ये part को मैं erase कर दूं, ऊपर वाला. Yes, Smith, correct. लेकिन 16 आएगा, Smith. 16 times v2 v3.
Okay.
Can I erase this part, students? ये ऊपर वाला portion में erase कर दो, students. Come on, tell me fast.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, but I didn't open the bracket, so I kept that way only.
Okay, fine.
So I get 3v1.
Okay, fine. See now, when you look into the module, students, the answer is given and you need to match up with the module. तो देखो यहाँ पे देखो, how do you solve further ahead? इसी को मैं solve करता हूँ students. यहाँ पे देखो, students ये जो 4 है और ये जो 4 है वो LCM आ रहा है 4. तो कहना है ये 4 और 4 में वहाँ पे मल्टीप्लाई कर सकते हो तो कहना है 16t. आंसर सुनना 16t. ये 5 यहाँ पे मैं ले लेता हूँ तो ये क्या हो जाएगा? 5 3s are 15 by v2 into bracket what will be x minus v1t by 5 plus ये 5 मल्टीप्लाई इससे भी होगा तो ये 5 अपॉन v3 into bracket x minus v1t by 5. सुन सकते देखो इसके बाद में ये सिंपल मैथ्स है. मैंने क्या किया है 4 को मैंने इससे मल्टीप्लाई किया तो 16 हुआ. 5 3s are 15 5 1s are 5 बस उतना ही मैंने किया. अभी देखो टर्म्स को साथ में ले लो 16t. Now multiply this, so this is 15x by v2 plus into minus minus 5 3s are agreed. ये इससे मल्टीप्लाई कर दो 5x by v3 plus into minus minus 5 and 5 will get cancelled v1t. Now can I take x terms and t terms together? Why not? ये 16t है. Can I take this on the other side? Can I take this on the other side? तो ये क्या होगा 16t plus 3v1t plus v1t. Agreed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, very so, but no, there's an LCM, students. It's what we consider v1t and this is also v1t. I'm getting it in terms of it. Agreed, so I can take it on the other side. है ना? ये plus v1t I can consider. Right hand side में क्या students? 15 by v2 plus 5 by v3 into x. क्या ये clear हुआ students? Can I take the LCM accordingly, students?
Yes, sir.
Agreed? Now can you multiply and get the answer accordingly? यहाँ पे t को तुम बाहर निकाल सकते हो students. Agreed? Agreed students?
Yes, sir.
And simply
Yes,
have to
sir.
find the step on time. Okay. Students, see to it that I want you to revise these particular formulas once again. Try to resolve these particular questions again. Okay. And in the next lecture, we'll be moving further with it. You can either students try to go through your questions properly. Next lecture, students, I want you to complete the rest of the questions. Okay. First question for the same exercise, students, in chapter 9. I want to solve the first question, second question, third question, and try fifth one. Try fifth one. ये शायद नहीं भी आए चलेगा, लेकिन first, second, third, you should be able to crack it. Okay, students. Next lecture will be continuing further.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, would you please suggest any book for MCQs for physics practice for NEET?
Okay, just hold on.